Good morning, students. Good morning. So now chapter 13, organisms and population, 12th standard biology. So in last class, some major abiotic factors like water and other things we've seen. Now light. Light is one of the major important abiotic factors. Normally, we know that light is important for photosynthesis. In autotrophic organisms, all the plants category, with the use of sunlight only, they can perform photosynthesis. We know. With the use of light energy only, the plants is converting the light energy into chemical energy. That is the important process in the photosynthesis. So without light, without sunlight, the photosynthesis not takes place. So light is a main important factor, major important abiotic factors for the photosynthesis. Particularly light, VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So the visible spectrum of light only is important for the photosynthesis for plants, because with the use of light energy only, the water molecules are breaking down in the first step, that is photolysis of water. After only, with the use of the energy, the electrons or glucose are produced. So without glucose, all the consumers is not survive in the earth. So all the consumers is dependent on producers for their food and oxygen, and producers dependent on light for their photosynthesis. Okay, so then herbs are overshadowed by the tall trees. Normally, tall trees which contain large canopy structure. Large canopy structure means is nothing but the large surface area, because large trees contains more surface area as compared to the small herbaceous plant. So normally herbaceous plant represent below the large tree. So large tree occupy the most of the sunlight. Only small part of the sunlight is get by the herbs. So herbs need more sunlight for their growth, but the large trees are occupy the more sunlight, more shadowed, only shadow only this get by the herbs. So small herbaceous plant is able to perform a small amount of photosynthesis, a small amount of food materials, prepare their small amount of food materials, because the large trees which occupy the more space, more surface area. Okay. Then the one photoperiod. Photoperiod is nothing but in 11th standard you have studied photoperiodism. Photoperiod is nothing but the sun, the plants need a particular amount of light and dark for their growth, development and the flower and fruit production. So without a correct light and correct dark, the plants can not able to produce their fruits and flowers and other things. So the photoperiod. Photoperiod, according to the photoperiod, the plants are categorized into three categories: long day plants, short day plants and day neutral plants. Already I have studied in 11th standard plant physiology lesson. Long day plants means the plants which get more long day time. In some season the day time will long, and the night time, the dark time is little bit small as compared to the daytime. So the particular season some plants are able to develop and produce flowers and fruits, mean the plant is long day plants. In long day season, the plants develops, and developing fruits and flowers mean that is long day plants. The plants only develop in a short day duration. For example, this season, the December, in the month of December, normally we know after 6:30 to 7 only the sunlight slowly will come, and 5 to 6, 5:30 the dark will come. So this season is actually short day season. Daytime is short as compared to the other season. So the particular plant is able to produce the flowers and fruits in a short day duration season, means the plants is said to be short day plants. In some plants, in all the seasons, daytime and long time is not dependent on light. This is dependent on other factors. In all the season, the plants is able to develop flowers and fruits. Mean the plants is said to be day neutral plants. According to the sunlight duration also, it affects the plants growth and reproduction. That is photoperiodism. And foraging capacity. Foraging means the eating capacity of animals. Some animals eat food in the night time. Some animals eat foods in a daytime. Some animals eat food in a bright light time, bright daytime. Some animals eat fruits in the morning, early morning. So according to the sunlight, light intensity, light duration also, the plants or the animals, herbivores or maybe other carnivores, which change their foraging habit. Foraging habits means eating habits. So according to the light only it eats. Okay, so that is the foraging capacity also affected by the light. And reproductive and migratory capacity, migratory activities. The reproduction, normally we know some animals only reproduce in a night, some animals only reproduce in a daytime. So according to the light intensity, light duration also, it affects the reproductive capacity of the animals as well as migratory capacity of the animals. The migration due to only light only. So more light means normally the animals migrate to the colder regions. More cold means normally the animals migrate to the warmer areas. So according to the light, only the organisms migrate, and foraging capacity and the reproductive capacity also affected by the light. Then normally below 500-meter depth in a sea, in a ocean or sea means below 500-meter depth, the sunlight is not entered. So plants also normally not present, because plants need sunlight for their photosynthesis. So without sunlight, how the plants are able to produce the sunlight, produce the food? So sunlight is important for the photosynthesis and producing the starch and glucose. Okay. So some spectral light also important. We know the visible spectrum, VGR. In visible spectrum, only the brown and red only is moved into the last area, because the red region only is the last. So normally, so then only and the red algae present in the depth of the sea. Is not a green algae. Green algae normally is in the surface of the sea or maybe in some part of the sea. Mainly green algae present in sea, fresh water only, not in the marine water. Marine water mainly contains brown algae and red algae, because the red light only in the visible spectrum is move more dense, more depth, because it is the nanometer and the wavelength of the particular red wavelength is more. So only the normally in the depth of the sea red algae only present, because red light only passes into the last area of our sea, only certain areas. Okay, so visible spectrum also important. So only the red algae present in the sea water, mainly brown and red, not other algae, because due to sunlight. So light also a important major biotic factors, major abiotic factors important for the animals growth, plants growth and reproduction, all these activities which controlled by the light. So without light, plants not able to reproduce, plants they are not able to photosynthesis, and various activities, various enzymes activities which important for the light. Okay. So light is one of the major abiotic factors of the plants growth and reproduction, even animals growth and reproduction also. So next one main important major abiotic factors is soil. So soil we know that is important for the plant's growth, because soil only contain various minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium. All the micro and macro nutrients are present inside the soil only. So after the pedology, that is soil formation, after edaphic factors, that is soil. So from normally soils are developed or weathered from the rocks, because rocks only contain all the minerals. So after various processes due to light, due to temperature, due to rainfall, due to other earthquake or some other factors also, soil is formed from the rocks. It takes some millions of years. So after the formation of soil, the soil is an important factor for the plant growth. So without soil, without nutrients, the plants not grow and develop, because all the minerals are important for the biological metabolic activities of the plants. Okay, then soil composition also important. Some soils, red soil, black soil, alluvial soil and mountain soil, because mountain soil is rich in humus and rich in minerals, so it is well used by the plants. And some red soil also, it contains some minerals. Some soil composition also, the grain size, the more grain size means that is actually it is water percolating capacity is low, easily allows the water in the deep horizon of the soil layers, so it is not available for the plants. And the grain size and percolation capacity. Percolation means normally if you add a soil, add water, not soil, add a water to the soil means normally water penetrated into the deep horizon of the environment, of the soil horizon. So the water is enter into the deep means the plants is not taking the particular water. So normally soil contain water, three types of water. One is hygroscopic water, one is gravitational water, another one is moisture. Three types of water. So gravitational water, hygroscopic water and capillary water. So in the hygroscopic water is mixed with the soil particles, that is not useful for the plant's growth. And gravitational water is actually move into the deep horizon, it is also not useful for the plants. And capillary water, it is present in between the soil particles. In the capillary water only it is useful for the plant's growth, it is roots has only absorbs the capillary water. So the water composition, water percolation capacity also important for the plant's growth. Okay, and then water holding capacity. Some soil which holds more water like clay soil, some soil which holds less water, that like sandy soil. If we add water to the sandy soil means, so normally the water is penetrated in the deep horizon, so it is not useful because the plant's root only develops in a particular region. So within the region the water is available means plants absorbs water, otherwise plants not absorbs water. Okay, so water holding capacity also important. So only our practical, even 12th standard biology practical related to soil and practical is present. We analyze the pH of the soil, because pH also important for the plant's growth normally. And pH 0 to 6.9 is acidic, 7 is neutral, 7.1 to 14 is basic. Normally pH 6.5 to 7 only, that is very good for the plant's growth. Suppose pH is less or pH is more means the particular soil is not is useful for the plant's growth. Only few plants are developed. Majority of the plants is developed from pH 6.5 to 7. Okay, so soil pH also important for their plants growth. And mineral capacity, we know some soil contain more minerals as compared to the other soil. So more rich minerals mean the plants will easily grow, and vegetation of the particular area is more. And benthic animals, benthic animals means normally inside the water bodies like lake, pond also plants are developed. The plants are developed base of the water bodies mean, that is benthic animals. For a pond or 5 feet pond, in the base of the 5th feet, the lower bottom of the pond contains some soil particles, minerals, water and some decomposers also present. With the use of these minerals, the plants able to develop mean the plants or animals is benthic. Plants mean that is submerged hydrophyte. Animals mean that is benthic animals. Benthic means is normally the word used for the animals. Submerged hydrophytes mean that is plants are present inside the water, and animals present in the bottom of the water bodies, in the soil of the bottom of water bodies, means the animals are benthic animals. So soil also important for the plants growth, even animals development and animal composition also. Okay, yes. So next one, how the organisms, how plants, how animals able to regulate their body temperature. So normally in the external environment maybe contain more light or less light, temperature, water, all the things are present in the external environment to the organisms. How the organisms maintain their external, regulate their internal. So other regulators, the organism is said to be a regulators. How the organisms respond to the abiotic factors. How living organisms are response to the abiotic factors. For example, how we react, more sunlight means in the environment more sunlight. How we react? Simply switch on our fan or maybe switch on our AC. Some people is not having fan and AC. How the peoples are react? With the use of any small sized wooden piece or maybe paper piece or maybe chart paper. With the use of chart paper they get some amount of air to cooling our body. So how animals other than the humans, how animals react? For example, how other mammals, for example, how monkey react according to that external temperature. So there is no reaction, no external. Artificially we like human beings, artificially we put AC, artificially we put fan for cooling, for reducing our temperature, surrounding temperature. But how natural animals? So simply sweat it out. It produces more sweat during the temperate days, more temperatured days. So it is actually during sweating, actually the water is more outside our skin and it covers the skin. So water is covered skin means automatically our skin temperature is reduced. Okay, for sweating, for normally we sweat it out, general peoples. So how, what is the use of sweat? Because the sweat is useful for our reducing the body temperature, because we move into the hot sun. So automatically our temperature, body temperature, external temperature is increasing. So in order to avoid to decrease the external temperature, normally we sweat it out and to maintain the temperature normally. So in what way the temperature is reduced into -5, -10, even 0? Is normally start to shiver. So shivering is a kind of exercise. Shivering பண்ணும்போது actually இது need energy. When shivering பண்றதுக்கு we need energy. The cells need energy. So cells producing energy. During respiration process only our cells which release energy, and during respiration our cells release heat also, including energy, heat also is released. We know in the 10th standard during germination of seeds the heat also is reduced. We done this activity. Carbon dioxide also reduced and heat also reduced. With the use of heat we maintain their body temperature. So we normally shiver during a low temperature. It is actually a kind of exercise to increase our body heat. Okay, so normally organisms regulates their body temperature, regulate their body temperature into the external temperature, means the organisms are said to be regulators. Actually regulators means birds and mammals only regulate, because our body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. Even you move to the warm climate, Sahara desert, 50 degrees Celsius means with the use of thermometer, we check our body temperature, means that actually the temperature is 37, our body temperature. If we move into the Antarctic places, minus 50 degrees Celsius means on the time we check our body temperature, means there is a thermometer same 37 degrees Celsius. So birds and mammals maintain their constant body temperature, whether environment is low, cool environment, or the temperature is high. That bother pannave mattom. We maintain the body temperature with the use of heart, because heart is separated into 4 chambers, right side and the left side. Only oxygenated blood only supplied to the organs, and more oxygen, more respiration means more heat. With the use of more heat, we maintain the body temperature in constant 37 degrees Celsius. So in the organisms maintain their internal temperature, internal body temperature constantly, means in according any environment in the outside, that is no problem, but internal body temperature is constantly maintaining, means the organisms are said to be regulators or regulate. So listen, homeostasis, this is a phenomenon. We regulate their internal body temperature, we regulate their urine waste. Suppose our cells, our tissues, our blood contain more water, means normally we released out more water during excretion. Suppose during summer days we release only a small amount of urine because we sweat it out more. So water is through the sweat is evaporate. So water content in our body is reduced. So we conserve our water from the urine. So the urination, the urine excretion is reduced in summer days. But in the rainy days, this situation is urinate more time as compared to the summer days, because in rainy days, in the cold days, sweating is not possible. Sweating is low, very low. So on the sweat the water is conserved in our body cells. The extra water is released through the urine only. So according to the environmental situation, we maintain their body temperature, we maintain their mineral content, we maintain their body fluid, maintain their water content in the cells. So in the more all the maintenance process. Osmoregulation means that is maintain their osmosis, minerals, maintain their mineral content in the body. Suppose we have more sodium, means more glucose, means is excrete their urine, more glucose is released. More salt means we excrete their salt through the urine. If less salt means we conserve the salt, conserve the minerals. Only urine contain only small amount of minerals. So we maintain all this temperature, all these minerals in our body, that is osmoregulation and the thermoregulation. The maintaining temperature, constant body temperature, that is thermoregulation. Maintaining the mineral content in our body tissues mean that is osmoregulation. This is collectively known as homeostasis. We maintain their internal body structures like temperature and the minerals. The process is said to be homeostasis. Birds and mammals only is able to maintain these two, like thermoregulation and the osmoregulation. This is known as homeostasis. And all birds and mammals are actually thermoregulation and osmoregulation. Normally your body temperature is known, this is 37, as sweated already taught. In the summer days it sweated out more as compared to the rainy and winter days. And is a shivering, is a sort of exercise, is a kind of exercise for producing more energy, maintaining their body temperature. And plants not maintain their internal temperature, because plants not able to maintain their temperature like us. Okay, so the regulators means they regulate their body temperature, regulate their internal environment according to the external environment, means that the organisms are said to be regulators. Okay.